Apa kabar sayangs? Welcome back to my channel. 2 months ago, I found out that I was pregnant. I came back from a doctor's appointment for my nose, and when I arrived home, there were boxes and boxes of hair dye products sent to me by a client for an upcoming campaign. But something in me told me to just take a pregnancy test, just to be safe, because I read somewhere that you're not supposed to dye your hair when you're pregnant, or at least during the first trimester of your pregnancy, due to the chemicals in the hair dye or whatnot. So I kind of jumped the gun and took the pregnancy test. So I took the test, and it was the only test that was available to me in the house, and to my surprise, it was positive. I'm shivering right now. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was home alone. I was shocked. I was happy. I just couldn't wait till Daryl comes home because he was at the office. So I waited and waited and waited for him to just come home to share this news with him. And when he finally came home,
So happy. Congratulations.
congratulations!
We did it.
Yay!
We did it.
We did it! We were just so happy. We celebrated. We jumped for joy. We cried tears of joy. We squealed. We laughed. We couldn't believe it that we are finally going to be parents. 1 week after that, we went for our very first checkup and found out that I was 6 weeks pregnant, and there it was, our tiny baby on the screen. We could even hear its heartbeat. It was strong, it was consistent, but at the same time, it was a little bit calm. It was 92 BPM to be exact. During the consultation, the doctor kind of mentioned that I have a big yolk sac, and we didn't think much of it because when Daryl and I googled what does a yolk sac do, apparently it provides nutrients to the fetus before the baby grows, and when it reaches 12 weeks it will start absorbing nutrients from the placenta instead. So we kind of thought, hey, the bigger the yolk sac, the more nutrients our baby's gonna get. We didn't find anything alarming about it until later on, and at the same time the doctor also told us that the heart rate could be improved, so she kind of prescribed me a bunch of supplements that I could take. I think one of it was Iberit Folic 500 for iron, vitamin, folic acid. I also had Obigal for calcium. I had Bio D3 for vitamin D, and last but not least, I also took Casprin to increase blood circulation to improve the baby's heart rate. For me, it was pretty difficult, I would say, because I hate taking pills, especially the big ones. I would struggle. I told myself, for my baby, I will do it. I would just soldier on and try my best to take these supplements on the daily, and I'll just do it for my baby. After our checkup, we couldn't keep it in. We told our closest family and friends. Some of them, they were so happy for us. Some of them even cried because they were so touched. They were looking forward to this more than us, actually.
Oh my word! What's it? Congratulations!
You're gonna have a son or a daughter.
Yay! You're gonna have a god sister or god brother.
Can I come to Malaysia and see him?
Of course you
Or her.
can. Him or her.
Say hot pot. Hot pot. Say Caris is pregnant.
Say cheese. Cheese. Hey, Carice is pregnant. Congrats, Daryl! I also needed to share this news with some of my mommy friends because my pregnancy symptoms were pretty hardcore. I was nauseous all day, not just in the morning or in the evening. I was experiencing all day sickness. I was tired, I was constantly out of breath. My heart was beating very fast, so I was constantly checking in with them, what I can or cannot eat, what I can do or cannot do, and I needed that support. During the course of my pregnancy, we would talk to the baby day and night, first thing when we wake up in the morning and also right before bedtime. We would pray for it to grow well, to grow to full term, and we were just so filled with joy knowing that there's life growing inside of me. And I even started to rub my belly, and even though it was so tiny, it felt so natural. 2 weeks later, after the first checkup, that's when things took a different turn. We went to the hospital on a Friday, and we were super excited in hopes that the baby has grown and that the heart rate is stronger, faster, and stayed consistent. Our gynae actually first used the tummy ultrasound, but she said she couldn't see much, so we swapped to the vaginal ultrasound instead. Honestly, there and then, in my heart, I felt like something was already wrong. That's because the baby would have been already 8 to 9 weeks in. It would have had a significant growth, but I tried to stay positive. I didn't say anything until the doctor said, "Your baby has shrunk." I asked to hear the heartbeat, and now looking back, just reliving the experience, I remember just begging God in my head, "Please God, let there be a heartbeat, let there be a heartbeat." And there it was. The heartbeat was there, but it was just so faint, so weak, as though that my little baby was just hanging on to his or her dear life. And there was nothing I could do about it. The next thing I know, I came down from the bed and the doctor sat us down and she kind of went on about our options moving forward. I was just still stunned. My body was trembling and I was just screaming in my head. Outside, I just remained calm. And I remember just grabbing onto Daryl's hand and just squeezing it because I just couldn't believe what's happening. I was probably just listening to like 50% of what she was trying to say. She recommended 3 methods. The first one was to let the body do its thing naturally and the baby would just come out, but we don't know how long that's going to take. And option number 2 would be the tablet method. So what they do is that they insert those tablets into your body, and that would encourage the body to expel the baby. And she did warn us that it could be painful, so that option is kind of out of the window. And the third option was a Dnc surgery. It's called dilatation and curettage. It's a simple procedure that they do in less than maybe an hour under general anesthesia. I was just so in shock. I remember holding back my tears because I didn't want the doctor to see me cry. I could have very well cried under the mask, but I held it in. But the moment I stepped out of her office, I just bawled my eyes out. I looked at Daryl, I hugged him, and I just cried and cried and cried. And when I looked at him, I could definitely see the sadness in his eyes, but I think at that moment he was trying to be strong for me because I was a complete wreck. He had to settle the payments and schedule the next appointment. So he kind of held it in. That night we went to our friend's place. They're a couple who also experienced a miscarriage a couple of years ago. And Daryl and I, we needed to be around people. Towards the end of the night, they said, "Daryl and Carice, let us pray for you." And I still remember it so vividly. The four of us, we were just hugging each other. We were just praying, and I could feel God's presence just hugging us. And it was such a profound moment because here we have a couple who had experienced loss a few years back, and here we are experiencing the same exact thing. It felt like Daryl and I, we were not alone, and we knew that it was God's grace upon us. He gives and He takes away, and during these dark times, He still blessed us with friends who would show us so much love, who will accommodate us, journey with us, and check in on us every step of the way. We were just so covered in love, and we can't explain it. Even though we were upset, we were hurt from the loss that we experienced, but at the same time, we had our friends, we had our counselors who came by to see us, check in on us, ordered food for us. We're just so blessed with friends who love us. Because there was a heartbeat, we immediately scheduled for a second opinion on Monday. So during that weekend, it was quite a difficult weekend for us, I think. In my entire life, those 2 days were the hardest 2 days that I've ever experienced. Because we were in such a limbo, we don't know whether we should pray and speak life to the baby, or should we just let go and accept and grieve and mourn that it's fading away. That weekend we really struggled. I remember just being okay for 10 minutes, and the next 10 minutes I would just cry my eyes out. I would just be so confused. Like, why me, God? I asked all these questions, and we would just look at each other, hug each other. That was a tough weekend. Anyway, Monday came. To cut the long story short, the doctor confirmed that there wasn't a heartbeat anymore. I know this is a space that I usually share the products that I love, my music, my vlogs, campaigns that I pour my heart and soul into, happy moments, milestones and events. But at the same time, I felt the need to still share this story with you guys, however sad it may be. So yes, we lost our baby. Over the next few days, we decided that the DNC would be the best option for us, and we scheduled that almost immediately. Ideally, we would have wanted to wait for it to come out naturally, but we wouldn't know how long that's gonna take. And the worst part was still feeling like I'm pregnant. The feeling is like I've never felt so close to death, and carrying it inside of me was just an indescribable feeling. And I didn't want to feel like that anymore. I don't want to feel pregnant when I know that my baby just isn't alive anymore. I didn't want to feel pregnant. I felt angry. I didn't want to do it for something that has already faded away, that's already gone. I wanted it out. I wanted to move on as fast as I can. So we chose the DNC. Somehow we still talked to the baby until the day of our surgery. Although we knew since Monday that there wasn't any heartbeat. I remember the surgery was scheduled on a Wednesday. It was a gloomy morning. I remember Daryl just driving me there to the hospital. Everything was very smooth. The nurses there, they were very kind, very patient. I think when she took my blood, I couldn't even feel the needle going in. And when the anesthesian put like an IV into my vein right here, honestly, I could not feel that needle going in because he was just so gentle, so kind, so warm. And there and then I felt God's presence again because everybody was just so kind, and they made it easy for us. Even though we were struggling, we were having such a difficult time grieving and dealing with our loss. I remember before going into the operating theater, I had one last cry, and the nurses saw me and they kind of patted my head. They were like, "It's okay." And another male nurse patted my shoulder. When the doctor saw me, he said, "It's okay, you can always try again, don't worry." I just felt like I'm covered with a blanket of love by God. I was just surrounded by kindness. I feel so blessed having all these people just showing us love and support. People that we don't even know, they're practically strangers, nurses that I only met on that day. And when I went into the operating theater and felt the anesthesia going into my body, it was a little bit cold. I closed my eyes, and then after that, I saw Daryl. It was so fast. I didn't even feel anything. It wasn't painful. It was pretty fast. I think I was out for about 30 to 45 minutes. I think maybe it took an hour for the anesthesia to completely wear off. Then I could go home. So I know some of you might be wondering, why did the miscarriage happen? Our doctor told us that it is actually very normal for couples to experience a miscarriage around 8 weeks. So she termed it as an abnormal fetal karyotype. That means there was a mismatch in chromosomes, something to do with genetics, things that we cannot explain. So when I asked, was it my fault? Was it something that I did? Did I exercise too much? Did I eat something that was wrong? She said, no, it wasn't my fault. And these things are actually pretty common. So if you're out there experiencing the exact same thing as me, if you're a mom or a husband that's going through a miscarriage, you somehow stumbled upon this video, I urge you to find someone to talk to about it. Find someone that you can trust, that you can fall back on, who would check on you. Share it with someone, and don't ever walk this journey alone. And if you really don't have anybody to talk to, please just email me at hello@charisowTV.com, and I will try my best to reply you and help you through this tough time, because you should not walk through this challenge alone. And know that you are not alone, because there are many couples out there who are experiencing the same exact thing. And also, please know that it is not your fault. It is never your fault. You did not do it on purpose. Nobody wants a miscarriage on purpose. So don't ever beat yourself up for it. To those who are watching this video who are experiencing the same thing, or know somebody who is experiencing a miscarriage, and if you share the same faith as me, I would recommend this book. It's called Help by Abby Wedgworth. This is a great book. It was given to me by my friend. It is a 31 biblical reflections on God's comfort and care in the sorrow of miscarriage book. So 31 days worth of stories, devotion, reflections, and also journaling space. It also includes 9 personal stories about people who also experience miscarriage. So this book will definitely help you through. So once again, if you are experiencing a miscarriage yourself and you have no one to talk to, please drop me an email. I would insert it in the description box down below. And if you have experienced it and came out of it, please leave your advice and your experience in the comment section down below. I'm sure that the rest of us could definitely benefit from it. Before I end this video, I just want to thank you guys for staying tuned until the end of this video and for listening to my story and my sharing. I'm glad that I have you guys to share it with. Thank you so much for journeying with me through my ups and downs. This is a pretty heavy experience, but I'm glad that I have you guys to walk with me. I just want to say thank you one last time for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.